Okay, so this is my 1982 GL1100 I just picked up for free. The guy wanted it out of his garage. Well, his wife wanted it out of the garage, and he wanted it to go to somebody that could fix it up. The story is it was running and riding when he bought it, and he lost the registration when it was signed, so there's no title, but it's like free and clear, so I might be able to get one. And apparently, yeah, it ran when parked, but it just set up in his garage, so at least it was in a garage. And the clutch works, the front brake doesn't work. I don't think the rear's doing anything. It's pretty nice condition. Fork seals leak really bad. I have the fender for it. I don't know why it was off. It came with the little side panels. I think this is actually a factory naked Goldwing, but I'm not completely sure if it's just one that's been converted. I think it's factory, and the carbs actually move. Has onboard air compressors. Only 30,000 miles, and I asked the guy and he said it hasn't rolled over, and it looks like it might be a real 30,000 miles. That's the compressor gas cap. It kind of smells like old gas, but not the worst. Yeah, it definitely smells like old gas. But I looked in here with the light on and it didn't look too bad. So maybe that gas tank can be salvaged. But anyways, I'm gonna hook a jumper onto it and see if it runs. The battery's dead. I tried the key and battery's dead. See if it'll crank over. Get any power or anything. See, I'll have to turn it on where it bypasses the safety mode, so it'll start this completely dead battery. I haven't even tried to hook electricity up to it yet, so gonna see what happens. When the lights come on, the starter sounds weak. So it's probably a connection problem at the starter, because that doesn't sound good. I'm gonna look at that and see what's going on. Okay, so maybe that's a connection problem. I'm gonna clean that up. And I went ahead and pulled the plugs just in case it's got water or something in there, and I can check for a spark that way. They looked all right. One of them was pretty foul. But yeah, that's what I'm doing now. Okay, so I believe my starter is bad, or this post is really corroded up, but it's a little rusty, but it don't look too bad. I tried to clean it a little bit. I need to get some memory cloth and try again. I did take this starter apart, clean everything, and try to put it back together exactly like I found it. I've never took one apart before, but I know I didn't lose anything, and I cleaned it, and I hooked the starter itself to the jump box, and it didn't respond, so thinking maybe this thing isn't any good. Gonna either order one or take this to somebody that can rebuild it, but it's pretty much where it ends for now. But I think I'm gonna put the plugs back in it just so nothing gets inside the engine. I did roll the bike in first gear with the plugs out, and you know, it was hard to push, so I know it probably had compression, but it did turn over, so it seems like that's good. I'm pretty sure the motor's solid on this thing. It may need some timing belts soon, but I'm pretty confident that once I get a good starter on it and get some gas down the carb, it'll at least fire. I'm sure the carbs will need rebuilt, maybe even have to clean or replace the gas tank, but I'll get there when I get to it. First off, we need a starter motor. Okay, so I've done a couple more things. I ordered a starter because I couldn't get that starter fixed. I bled the front brakes, and I've actually got front brakes now, but look how bad the forks are. That's definitely gonna be a problem. The clutch doesn't work. Right now I've got it in, and when I have it in gear, it still acts like the clutch is not engaged, disengaged, whatever the term is. So I've heard that if you keep it pressed down for a while, it can possibly unstick it. But if it wasn't for that, I was gonna try to roll start it. But I thought that if I don't have a clutch to pull in, it may not be a good idea. That's what the inside of the tank looks like. That liquid is what a carb cleaner I just sprayed in there to try to get some fluid moved around. I see a little bit of dirt at the bottom, but it honestly doesn't look too bad. I could just spray out the lines themselves, go into the petcock. I think it'll be okay. So, gas tank is alright. My newly bled front brakes leak really badly, so yeah, they're not gonna work. And the rears, I try to pump them up and bleed them, and they don't work. So the brakes are a no so far. Okay, I'm gonna try to bump start it. I have no working clutch, so I'm just gonna have to pop it in the second gear and ride it out if it starts. I wonder how much it needs. It should be alright. It's on run. The new starter has arrived. It was 60 bucks on eBay, so hopefully this thing works. I'm gonna swap them out real quick. I just put a little bit of gas in the tank. The tank looked like it had nothing in it. But I'm gonna swap out the starter and try to get it started on the carb cleaner. See how it goes. In case anyone was wondering how the starter removal process is on a GL1100, it's super simple. You got one bolt here that I've already taken out. It's 8mm. And we've got another one right here. You want to use the extension on it. Then you got a 10mm holding your battery terminal to the starter. And that's all there is to that. Okay, so the new starter's on. It was ever so slightly longer than the original starter, so I had to kind of tap it in with a hammer gently to get it over into the in between the area where it goes. So anyways, very excited to see if this thing cranks over. To it. Keys on. Oh, it starts. It sounded like it was trying to fire. Well, let's try this. Oh, it ran. Maybe choke. It runs not very well, but goodness, it fucking runs.